I'm Dr. George Flynn, and you're watching In-Depth TV. Today, we're going to talk about something, we're going to talk about it with you, about something that will change the way you do a lot of things. It can be what we call life-changing, and it can change your lifestyle. It can change the status that you have with your family, your church, your community. It can definitely change your security that you have, whether it's financial security or physical security. This key can change all of this. It can change your health. It can absolutely change your family, and it can change the amount of money you have and the amount of money you earn. You know, a lot of people say, I'll say, well, what do you want to do? And they said, I want to make a lot of money. And I said, well, it's easy. They said, oh, really? Well, how easy is it? I said, you move to Washington, D.C. or Denver. They said, well, why? I said, well, that's where the mint is, and that's where they make money. And you can go there and get a job with the Bureau of Printing and Engraving and make money. They said, no, I want to have money. I say, oh, you mean you want to earn money, not make money. So it's kind of a play on words, but I believe after we discuss this today, you'll understand it's really a lot more healthy and truthful and down to earth than you think. What we want to talk about is, first of all, your thoughts. You got to think of something, and you think of it, and once you think of it, you may do it. So the thought may lead to an action, like, I want to go get a piece of bread, or I want a sandwich. So the thought, I would like to have a sandwich, and you can picture what kind of sandwich you want. Ham sandwich, turkey sandwich, tuna fish sandwich, BLT, any kind of sandwich, you picture it. And that will lead to an action. And the action is to go make a sandwich. Or go out and get a sandwich. So you've thought about it, and you've gotten this sandwich. And then if you think about that for 7 days in a row, and then you do that 4 and a third times in a row, you've done that for a month. Now that's where we want to talk about things. The habits that you have. The habits that you have will change everything. You say, well, I don't have any bad habits. Well, do you have any good habits? You know, there are habits. Some can be considered bad. Some can be considered good. You say, well, I don't smoke. That's good. And I don't drink. Well, that's good. And I don't do this, and I don't. There are a lot of don't things that you don't do. A lot of things that you should be doing that we call good habits. Well, you don't smoke, but do you exercise? You know, you don't hang around with people that are committing crimes, but do you hang around with people that are doing good things? You don't, do things that will mess up your lifestyle, but do you do things that will enhance your lifestyle? What about your family? Do you pay attention to your family? Do you have meals with them? Or do you take them out to dinner? Every day? Once a week? Once a month? What do you do? What are your habits? Because your habits can make your life. They can make your lifestyle. What do you have the habit of doing? Who do you hang around with? Where do you go? What do you do? Do you throw litter out of your car? Is that a habit? Or do you recycle? That's a habit. And what do you do as far as security? Do you have a habit of locking your house, locking your car door? You have a habit of, you know the things, watching out, not going into dangerous areas. What are your habits? You have a habit of exercising every day, 5 times a week, 3 times a week, working out, walking. What do you do? What are your habits? And you say, well, I don't have a habit. Well, we'll start out with something simple, like exercising. You say, oh no, that's the hard one. Well, let's talk about walking around the block. Not to where you get out of breath, where you can't talk, just a leisurely walk around the block. Or a leisurely walk around a mall, or a leisurely walk around your house. Or if you got one, or have a friend that has one, or a gym, a leisurely walk on a treadmill. And you can even watch TV while you're on the treadmill, and time will go by really fast. Though I think when you're walking, you should pay attention to where you're walking and look around. Look around at the earth. Look around at where you live. Just look around. Be aware. And that's a habit of being aware or being unaware. Which is it that you want to be? Well, most people say to be safe and secure, be aware. Because a lot of criminals, a lot of people that would rob you are looking for those that are unaware, not paying attention to where they are, so they can sneak up on you and get the best of you, as we might say. Okay, well, you say, oh, all right, I'll do this, I'll go walk around the block. And you do it, and then all of a sudden you say, well, I walked around the block. Well, what do you need to do next, the next day? That's right, walk around the block. You may even walk a little further, but you need to walk around that block. Or do your workout, lift your weights, or get on the treadmill, or do something. Now, this applies to everything. We're just taking exercise as a small example of this. So you're going to walk around the block 1 day, 2 days. Okay, you've done it for 5 days in a row. Do you have a habit? Not yet. Not yet. The research shows that to have a habit, you've got to do something 21 to 30 days in a row, somewhere between 21 and 30. After that 21 to 30 days, you really won't have to think about it a lot. What happens is, after the 21 to 30 days, you'll say to yourself, oh, I need to go do that. That's part of my routine. That's part of my habit. So you've got to do it, and just put that down, 21 to 30 days, and then it goes into what we call autopilot, where you'll do it, you'll not even think about not doing it. Now, you can miss a day or two, but you will, normally people feel sort of guilty for not doing something. So there we are, we're walking 21 to 30 days, and let's say 30 days just to be safe. And you've developed a habit of working out. Now you can increase the workout, increase the amount of time you spend, or increase the distance you walk, or increase the amount of weight that you can lift, but you've got a new habit. That's a brand new habit. Okay, let's talk about the habit of dieting. And I don't like to call it dieting. I like to call it changing the way you eat. Eating more protein, more fats. I know you shouldn't say that, more fat, but more protein and more fats and less carbohydrates. The carbohydrates are the rapid sources of energy that run your blood sugar up, that get you And then when you can't use all the energy, it's converted to what? Fat. That's right. And that means you might attain a weight that's more than you would like for it to be. So we want to keep your carbohydrate intake lower than you usually expect it to be. So that's one of the habits that we want to get into. So dieting, not really dieting, but a habit of healthy eating. A little more protein, a little less carbohydrate, a little more fat in your diet, in your daily intake. All right, what about, let's say, money? Let's talk about money. What habits can you have to increase the amount of money you have? Well, one is don't spend so much. That's a habit. Don't just go out and, find things that you don't need that are probably going to wind up in a garage sale, and you say, oh, that's a nice little shiny object. I've got to have one of those. And you get it, and then all of a sudden, you don't even remember where you put it. That's a habit of getting things you really don't need. And a habit of spending money that you really don't need to be spending. But that's on the outgo side. What about the income side? What do you do to increase your income? Well, let's see here. You give more service, or you sell more product. Because the products and services that you give, you exchange for income. You say, but I've got a job. I'm on a salary. Do more than you're expected. Do more than you're expected, not less. Don't just get by. Be outstanding. Your employer, the person paying your hourly or daily or monthly wage, will recognize that you are an outstanding person within that organization or group. And what they do with outstanding people is they promote them and they give them raises because they are producing and taking care of customers or helping sell more objects and making sure that the customers are happy and satisfied with the products or services. So can you see that? You becoming more valuable by doing your job better, it pays off for you. Now you say, well, okay, they won't give me a raise. They will not give me a raise. Somebody else will be after you too. Word will get around, and you will probably get that promotion and raise that you know you deserve because you have put out the effort. It's a lot like the story I talk about. The guy goes into the coal, the stove, the wood-burning stove, and says, give me a lot of heat out of the stove because I'm cold. And after you give me a lot of heat, I'll put in the wood and start the fire. Well, we know that's silly, but that's what we say. Give me the more income, and then I'll put in the effort. It's backwards. Put in the effort, you'll get the income. Now we're talking about money. We've talked about diet. We've talked about habits. We've talked about your lifestyle. Remember, 21 to 30 days of doing something new, it'll all of a sudden be locked into your life. And 21 to 30 days of not doing something that you want to break that habit is the way to break that habit. I'm Dr. George Flynn. You've been watching In-Depth TV, and I hope you make a habit of being back here next time. Thank you.